if you're broke right now, I'm not gonna even try to motivate you. What I am gonna do is give you a real plan, a step-by-step plan for you to follow. Because staying broke isn't random. There were decisions that were made to get you to where you are now. But good news is that you can fix it. What's up, guys? It's Rick. I'm just driving around talking about money, just like I usually do. And it's raining outside, as you can see. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my other video that kind of took off a little bit. A lot of people had questions. In my last video, I talked about why people stay broke, right? So today I wanted to flip it. So we wanted to talk about how to actually fix it step by step. So step number one is to know where your money is going. You know, first thing you need is awareness. Know where your money's going. Because you can't fix anything that you don't understand. You don't know where your money's going. So I want to persuade you for at least 1 week just to track your money. Every dollar, every penny that you spend on food, gas, any kind of subscriptions, you know, any kind of random spending, your DoorDash or Uber Eats, you know, everything. Most people don't realize how much they're spending, you know, and how much is leaking out. And it's not big things, usually it's smaller things. And it's the consistent spending that leaks out. Once you see it, you can control it. Step number two is cut the stuff that doesn't matter. And I'm not saying to stop living your life, because let's be honest, what are you spending money on that is actually improving your life? Is it subscriptions you forgot about? Is it eating out every day? Is it the impulse buying? You go to the mall, you buy something. You don't need to cut everything, you know? You do need to create space, though. And that space becomes an opportunity to grow. Step number three, build a small emergency fund. Before you decide to invest, before anything, build yourself a little emergency fund, a little cushion to fall on in case of an emergency. Even $500 to $1,000, somewhere in between that is pretty good. I would actually push towards the higher end, so $1,000. Because without it, every problem becomes debt, right? So your car breaks down, you pull out the credit card, you swipe, debt. Something happens to your dog, or something like that, or a medical bill to yourself, you know, you swipe your card, and that just keeps you stuck. And I know this step isn't exciting, but it's a crucial step, and it's powerful. It gives you breathing room that you never used to have. Step number four is to figure out how much high interest debt you have. Now, if you have high interest debt, this is going to be priority, right? Credit cards especially. You're not just paying back money, you're fighting interest, and interest that goes against you is even worse. So pick a strategy. Either do the snowball method, which is smallest to biggest, or the avalanche method, which is highest interest first. You know, you decide which one. Personally, I would decide on the snowball because it gives you small little wins, but both work. The key is consistency. Every extra dollar you find, just throw it at your debt, man. Step number five, start investing, even if it's small. So once you've taken care of your high interest debt, once you're stable, you can start investing, right? And don't overcomplicate it. You don't need to pick stocks. You know, I always say just invest into the S&P 500, ticker symbol VOO for Vanguard S&P 500. You don't need to time the market either. Just start in there. Just start with something simple. You know, like VOO, like I just said. Even like, you know, 10, 20 bucks, you know, you can even start that at a time and do it recurrently. That way you don't think about it, it just happens. This is where your money actually starts working for you, believe it or not. Step number 6 is going to be to increase your income. Because let's be honest with ourselves, you know, here's the truth. There's only so much you can cut, right? So there's going to be a point where you can't cut anymore. So you're going to have to increase your income at some point. At some point, you're going to have to earn more. It's just facts. That could be, I don't know, asking for a raise at work, you know, doing a side hustle, side income, you know, or putting more hours at work, you know, something. You can't budget your way out of not having income, right? So your income really does matter, believe it or not. And I just want to remind everybody that this whole process isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Again, consistency is key. You don't need the perfect plan, although I'm giving you a plan. This plan isn't perfect. You need a plan that you can actually follow. That's what I'm giving you. Most people already know what to do, but they just don't do it. Or they don't do it long enough to actually see results. So if you actually stick to this, you can get out of debt easily. And I'm not saying this like I have it all figured out. I really don't. You know, I'm still struggling my battles over here on my end. I made mistakes too. I've gotten into debt plenty of times, but I managed to get out, right? But once I actually started taking control of my money, I stopped feeling stuck. And you start to live now. You start to enjoy a little bit of life, you know, not being stressed out all the time. And to be honest, it's worth it. It really is. Not having to choose not to go to work, that's a choice that everybody should have. If you're feeling broke right now, I want to tell you, don't panic. You're not stuck. You're just unorganized. You know, you need to figure things out a little bit. But once you find your rhythm, everything starts to change. Right? You start knowing where your money is. You cut out stuff that doesn't matter. You build a small emergency fund and you attack high interest debt. And then after that, you start investing. Man, everything's gonna change. If this helped you in any way, you know, let me know. Drop a comment down below. And if you're actually trying to fix your money, you know, stick around and consider subscribing. You know, I make this kind of content all the time. I'm driving around in my Honda and just talking about money like a random regular dude would do, you know. So yeah, and that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Peace out.